So recently there have been concerns that executions by lethal injection, which are supposed to be quick and painless, aren't either. Typically, executions are done with 3 drugs given in stages. So the first drug is an anesthetic, and it's supposed to anesthetize the inmate. The second drug is called a paralytic, and it's supposed to keep the inmate from flailing around. And then the third drug is supposed to stop the heart. Executioners used to use a drug called sodium thiopental as that first drug, as the anesthetic, but then the only company that made it in the United States stopped making it. So they went to Europe and said, can we get it from you? But European drug companies said, no, we are not going to sell it to you if it's going to be used for the purpose of executing inmates. So since they haven't been able to use the sodium thiopental for the executions, they've gone to another anesthetic. This one is called midazolam. And in 3 executions, there might have been some problems with it. Instead of going quickly and painlessly, witnesses who watched the execution said that inmates were gasping or snorting or making choking sounds, and at least in one execution, that the inmate was actually speaking. So among states that do the death penalty, there's been some consideration, does this 3-step method really work? So now using this new drug combination has raised some questions about whether it constitutes cruel and unusual punishment and whether it might be unconstitutional.
Lethal injection is a method of capital punishment adopted by several countries, including Vietnam. It was introduced as a more humane alternative to previous execution methods. The process involves a series of 3 drugs administered sequentially. First, an anesthetic induces unconsciousness to prevent pain. Then, a paralytic agent causes complete muscle paralysis, including the respiratory muscles. Finally, a cardiotoxin stops the heart, leading to death. In Vietnam, lethal injection replaced the firing squad in 2011 to reduce the psychological impact on executioners and align with global practices. Recently, the case of Margaret Nduta, a 37-year-old Kenyan national, has drawn international attention. She was sentenced to death in Vietnam on drug trafficking charges, a conviction she disputes. Nduta claims she was unaware of the contents of a package she was asked to deliver. Vietnam has some of the world's strictest drug laws, with capital punishment applicable for trafficking over 600 grams of heroin or cocaine. The Kenyan government is actively engaging in diplomatic efforts to halt Nduta's execution, emphasizing the need for a thorough review of her case. This case highlights the complexities of capital punishment and the profound consequences of drug trafficking allegations.